I enjoyed this movie, but it was all over the place. Hi, welcome to That's a Wrap, the channel where I review TV shows, movies, and movie trailers. Today's movie that I will be reviewing is the animated movie Wonder Woman Bloodline. If you're not familiar with this movie, please consider this your spoiler warning. So let's get on to the review. So this movie was okay for an animated DC movie. The animation was good. It was crisp. I didn't have a problem with the presentation of it. The voice acting was good. It was respectable, even though there was parts where it lagged a little bit as far as the delivery from character to character, but nothing too much where it took me off. It did feel very long for an hour and 15-minute movie. It felt like a 2-hour movie. They spent a lot of the first half of this movie setting up these two villains that within seconds of releasing Medusa, because Medusa, the Greek Medusa, does make an appearance. And as soon as Medusa's introduced, boom, these other two villains are done within seconds, not even a minute before both of them are dead. I was like, wait, what? So you spend all that time building these two characters up for then this character that was a surprise, weapon that they had in their arsenal gets presented, and then the story shifts at that point, and you're like, wait, why? Why was this even presented? And apparently Medusa and the Amazonians have a history together. I'm trying to recall in my myth books or my myth studies, because I'm a huge history nut and I love my mythology. I'm trying to remember if the Amazonians had fights or encountered Medusa. I don't think so, or at least my memory can't recall it. If anybody out there can recall when this, engagement happened, let me know down in the comments so I could slap myself in the fact that I didn't know this and I could just go check it out. I always love reading mythology, and if the Amazonians did encounter Medusa, I would love to know. But Medusa gets introduced, and then this whole other movie is now being watched with the same characters almost, except for the two villains that we were introduced to. So I was like, wait, what? So the story lags. I mean, I enjoyed that part, but that would have been better if they would have stuck with the Medusa route, not even introduced these other two characters that brought Medusa, because it's Medusa from the past. She remembers her past, but she's like a cyborg Medusa. So it's just, DCAU taking liberties in how what they do in creating these problems for themselves that our heroes have to maneuver and get over. And again, I could buy that. I could separate my disbelief and go, okay, I buy that. Let me just enjoy this and take them at their word and enjoy that. But when it's like the whole first half is like, oh, our secret weapon, and they don't call her by her name, and then when she gets dropped and the snakes come up, you're like, oh, is that Medusa? So she remembers all that stuff and from her past, even from ancient past, but she is now more powerful because of a serum and stuff like that. But again, I could buy that, but it could have been presented just with Medusa. At least earlier on, like she was part of this scheme and then double crossed them somehow because she was just using them as pawns. But the way they did it was very sloppy. And again, the story lags. And until Vanessa, the rebellious daughter, Silver Swan, which is a freaking stupid name for a villain character, whatever. I give Jupiter's Legacy a hard time, or I gave it a hard time with their ridiculous superhero names like Star whatever Fox or Flying Fox or Utopian or whatever. It was the most ridiculous bunch of names throughout that whole series. So I gave that show a hard time on their superhero names, but Silver Swan is probably up there with stupid names. That name belongs in the Jupiter's Legacy universe. So I thought that name was ridiculous, and that character of Vanessa, the way I get what they were going for. Like, she was jealous, the fact that the mom not loved, but it seemed that she cared more for Wonder Woman when they were helping her get acclimated to a new world. Steve brings her from, when she comes out to help Steve. Very Wonder Woman live action, basically the story. Now this movie comes in after the live action Wonder Woman came out, so I'm pretty sure the animators were trying to keep with that mythos already established in the live action, using a little bit more modern. Steve is not in World War II. He is in current era flying a jet, which we see later on in this Wonder Woman 1984 where he does that. But it's right in between those two worlds, and maybe the producer, it's the same director of both Wonder Woman live action. Maybe she took a glance at this or had some input in this cartoon, because there was definitely aspects, especially from Cheetah, when she got all buffed and had, grew to different sizes and had more strength, like super speed. And you're like, wait, that kind of looks like the live action Cheetah, a little bit more masculine looking Cheetah than a feminine looking Cheetah. So there was definitely aspects of the new Wonder Woman 1984 movie live action in this. But anyways, again, we've seen this many times with not just in superhero projects and just any other projects, in movies and TV shows, where that becomes the problem. Vanessa gets jealous and then she becomes a villain. The way she became a villain was super off-putting. Was very like, oh, shut the fuck up. If you watch the new Netflix movie Army of the Dead and Drax's daughter, and if you've already seen it, you understand the Bautista, the one that plays in Bautista's daughter in that movie, and how stupid and annoying she was throughout that movie. That's how I felt about Vanessa. There was no need for her to jump to so many conclusions to ultimately become this villain that causes everything to happen and almost have the world be defeated by Medusa just because of a temper tantrum. So anyways, if you are into the DCAU, you'll enjoy it, but you'll find a lot of flaws in it. For me, I rated this movie a C-. It was really close to getting a D+ movie rating for me, but some of the voice acting and when the Medusa got introduced, the pacing picked up. Some of the humor saved this movie, especially with the actor that was voicing Steve, and that's a credit to the script. The script was very good. It's just that they missed the point. They missed the mark on where they wanted to go with this script. They wrote it very good as far as, like I said, the pacing, delivery, and props to the actors for working what they had. And the comedy, the animation, the voice acting saved this movie from being a not enjoyable movie. So for me, I give this movie a C-. But again, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And like always, that's a wrap.